This is in the German town of Spremberg, close to the border with Poland. I visit two cemeteries. Behind the wall here is an old German cemetery where many unknown German soldiers from the Second World War are buried too. Here, this cemetery is where Soviet soldiers are buried. The monument is called the Mourning Mother. Quite a few images of this cemetery and this monument can be found on the internet. From that you could get the impression that it is a large, impressive cemetery. It is in a way. Certainly if one realizes that Spremberg is not a big city. But if you observe more closely, it is a bit disappointing. Google Maps also first directed me to another cemetery where only a few soldiers were buried. Okay. When you look at the whole context, literally too, the cemetery is less impressive. We see about 200 individual graves, and here on the special tombstones are the names of about 500 other Soviet soldiers. Soviets, mostly Russians, who were actually controlled by the terrible communist Stalin. Just a few years ago, the day before the German Liberation Day in May, that communist symbol, the five-pointed star, was daubed with Nazis or with people who are out to shock the left. See image for vandalizing. Well, 700 young people, 700 young men, of course. When you zoom in on individual graves, you see that sometimes the date of birth is missing, and sometimes even the date of birth and of death. When you look up, you see a tower that has absolutely nothing to do with those soldiers. It is the Bismarck Tower. At the top of it, you see the strange inscription Sonst Nichts, German of course, that refers to an outspoken nationalist slogan that is attributed to this Bismarck. The entire slogan reads, "Germans fear God, but nothing else." Further on we come to a memorial that does have a direct connection with Nazism and the Second World War, more particular with the famous concentration camps. In the background you see the 21st century city. A number of people are commemorated here in particular. There is something strange about 28 people being mentioned. After all, there were millions, but okay. This bas-relief, that's a French word definitely, is dedicated to those camps themselves. First man is arrested by Nazis. He's still wearing a neat suit. He's forced to do hard labor. He's tortured, starved, humiliated, completely naked here. The scene continues on the other side of the place. Here, his dead body is carried away. We do not know whether it is a German resident who, in the context of denouncing that "wir haben es nicht gewusst" narrative, have been forced to learn about the horrors of the concentration camps. That is what the visionary Eisenhower did in the western part of Germany. Something remarkable is happening here. It's not clear what is depicted on the middle relief, but on the last one you see a weapon appear, a rifle from one of the Soviet victors, of course. I'll do that. This is where that same tower comes into view. There are many Bismarck monuments in Germany, but something highly remarkable has happened to this specific one. Mr. Bismarck was for a long time the symbol of German national unification, of nationalism. And there is an information board. By the way, those girls we see didn't just come here to walk the dog, they really paid attention to the monuments. On the information board we can read that this tower has been renamed several times. In 1950 it was named after communist foreman Ernst Thälmann. That was, of course, at the time one of the high points of the Cold War. Remarkably, that name was changed again in 1951 already. That was while Stalin still controlled the entire Eastern Bloc with an iron fist, and the name it got was the Georgienberg Tower. It was given a completely neutral name, its location. But in 1990, after German unification, it was given the old name again, named after that symbol of Prussian and German nationalism, respectively, Mark. You could argue that Bismarck was not the very worst kind of nationalist. He did not strive for the Third Reich like Hitler did. On the other hand, the most important thing that most history books report about him is that he managed to bring about German unity by entering into 3 wars from 1964 to 1871. This is the memorial of the town of Spremberg itself. It was a sign at the beginning for the victims of National Socialism. The monument is sober. That's how it should be. Before I traveled to Germany, I came here for a completely different reason. I kind of planned to visit this cemetery, but I was sure I had to do it after I saw a television program in Germany. I watched a flabbergasting news item, part of a flabbergasting context. The unknown Social Democrat president of Germany, a guy called Steinmeier, was in Poland because he wanted to go to Kiev with the president of that country and of the Baltic states to support the nationalist Zelensky. However, he was not welcome there. And in the context of the same news item, however, it was reported that representatives of other parties were welcome, other left-wing parties that are in a coalition government with the Social Democrats since a few months. Note that these parties are peaceniks and socialists in the recent past, and now they want to lend support to the ultranationalist Zelensky, who forbids opposition parties and has a fanatical monocultural agenda. The memorial to the victims of Stalin's communism is